All right, guys, what's going on? Levi Trumbull here. So I just wanted to take a moment out of my day today to address the very big story from Las Vegas. I'm sure a lot of you guys are familiar with it by this point. The big development that 8 juveniles have been arrested in connection with a murder or the involvement into the death of a 17-year-old boy, high school boy. This stems back to a situation where allegedly there was a conflict where this boy had stolen a pair of wireless earbuds or a headset of some sort, and in a retaliatory effort, these 8 individuals ages 13 to 17 teamed up on this 17-year-old boy and killed him. He died as a result of this sort of ambush, is almost how I would describe it as. They teamed up on him, they kicked him, and they beat him, and you know, he ultimately died of the injuries that he sustained on the scene. So the ultimate cause of death, as you guys may be familiar with at this point, is blunt force trauma. That is what the medical examiner came back, and that was his findings as it relates to the cause of death. You guys know about as much as I know on this story. There's really nothing else to report right now. There was a press conference. We know that it's 8 people ages 13 to 17. We know what the motive is, and beyond that, learning anything else could be difficult because they're minors, and what is released about a minor in many cases is very different than what would come out as it relates to an adult facing the same set of circumstances that I know just from reading the same reports that I'm sure you guys have been reading, that police in the case are trying to have some of the qualifying individuals be tried as adults, but obviously these decisions will be made by the courts, the state's attorney's office. You know, there will be a jurisdiction which handles the matter of deciphering whether certain individuals are tried as children or tried as adults. But really, that's not even my whole aim and object with today's video. And I think where I really want to go with this video is just point out the fact that with this situation, how unfortunate it is and how unnecessary this circumstance is, and quite frankly was. When you look at this case from a 1,000-yard view, you know, you really start to come to the consensus that, wow, this is a situation that was just so unnecessary, and the impact that it will have on so many people's lives will just be immense. You look back at the whole sort of picture and you say, was the juice worth the squeeze? And of course, it's not. It usually never is in crimes, but with this situation, it is just so unnecessary to see everything that transpired here. So you have a 17-year-old boy who was killed, right, which is the big picture, right? That right there is the heaviest hitting factor out of everything, of course, right? A 17-year-old boy who didn't need to die, who did die, right? That's number one. Then number two, you of course you have a family of this victim who died, who is forever going to be broken. But then you have 18 defendants, 18 suspects who will now all be tried, maybe some tried as adults, and now will forever have their lives ruined by this situation, and maybe justifiably so, right? So you have 8 young people, again, people who have brains that are not fully developed, who are going to pay a serious price for their actions, for the involvement in the killing of this 17-year-old boy, this Jonathan Lewis. And of course, the weight of the trial, the weight of the oncoming legal circumstances that these defendants are going to find themselves in is going to be immense. It's going to take a toll on them. It's going to take a toll on the family. It's going to take a big toll on the community. You know, it might be 8 defendants who have to seek representation from the public defender's office. It's going to cost the taxpayers of Las Vegas perhaps a very high dollar figure to represent these people. And you could have on all fronts just an immense amount of downfall and destruction from this one act. And it goes back to the question, what is this all for? Why did this happen? And this happened presumably over a set of wireless earbuds or earphones or a headset, whatever it was, which you probably can trace back to not being more than $100 in value. So for something that is less than $100 in value, you have a 17-year-old boy who is now deceased, died in a very brutal way. You have a family, his family, that will be, crushed by this forever. You have defendants who are going to be engaged in a very lengthy criminal trial. Some of these juveniles, ages 13 to 17, may be tried as an adult. Who knows? Maybe they all get tried as an adult. Who knows? You could see lengthy jail time for a multitude of these defendants and a community that is just broken from this whole ordeal. And you can stem it all back to something that was less than $100. So it's one of those things in my mind where it's a major teachable moment. And it's sad because when it comes to the issue of young people, and you can't even call these adults, these are minors. Some of them might be tried as an adult, but nonetheless, these are very young people who not only, again, like I said earlier, don't have a developed mindset, but are going to be grown up very quick by this whole process. And it's just an awful situation. It's a teachable moment for any young people who are watching, and it's a teachable moment if you're perhaps a parent or an adult. So it's a tragic case, and you know that there's probably going to be a defense probably from some of these defendants that they were caught up in the moment. If you've seen the video, you know that it seemed to be like a dog pile, piling up on this kid. And, it's just awful. And there's probably going to be some kids who just say they got caught up in the moment. They only maybe, hit in one kick, or what they did was minor compared to other people, but it's not going to matter in the end, because no matter what you did, if you were involved, you have some responsibility for this young human being's life, which was lost in this tragic attack, in this tragic situation which unfolded. So that's all I really wanted to say about it. So I guess we'll see where it goes, and perhaps we'll follow it, but just an overall unfortunate set of circumstances. You hate to see it. And unfortunately, I guess these are the times we are living in these days. So Levi Trumbull reporting. That's my commentary on the subject matter, and we'll catch you soon.